Let's unbox the Logitech G502X in this beautiful white color. So it comes in this really nice, cool looking packaging over here. So I'm really excited to see how this is going to look. Now I personally own both the white and the black X Plus versions. And I needed something additional to connect to my Mac that did not have any RGB. So here is the actual mouse here. Has a combination of a white and gray color scheme. Now over here on the other models, this will be a RGB strip here, but you can see it's coated in a nice glossy white color. So a really nice touch to keep it nice and subtle. Let's go ahead and peel this out. You can see right over here a nice power switch. They have a little compartment here to store the actual USB here, or you can also have it charged via a puck. Now this is where you would charge via USB-C, and altogether it comes with a whole bunch of buttons here that are fully customizable. You have your standard left and right click here, and you have two additional buttons on the right next to the left click here, which is very convenient. We also have a nice scroll wheel here, and the button right below it will switch how the scroll wheel changes. You can see it's going a lot quicker, and then if I click on this again, it's more precise. So really cool feature here. And then you have another button here that you can map it to whatever you like. And on the left side here, you have two additional buttons as well that you can always remap, and another button here as well. So I like the fact that it comes with so many different buttons. For me personally, I like to use this mouse for editing purposes. So I like to map it so I can edit it very fast. Now further inside, they're going to give us the actual wireless USB dongle. Now this does not have Bluetooth, unfortunately. I kind of wish it did. However, you do get a really nice USB dongle. What I do like about this though is that it tells us the model of the mouse, which is G502X, which is great because sometimes you might have a lot of these dongles and you don't know which dongle does what. So I like the fact that they label it, which is very easy to find. Here you have a different style of a button here, which you can actually remove this and replace with this instead. Further inside the box, we're going to have a nice USB A to C cable coated in white. And we're also going to get a USB A to USB C adapter. And you're also going to get a setup guide. All right, so here's the G502X. And alongside here, I have the G502X Plus version. Now the Plus version gives you this RGB lighting strips that you can customize. So for those that don't need the RGB, then this is perfectly fine, which could be great if you want to make things very subtle. Now I already have the USB dongle connected to my hub here, and all we're going to do here is we're going to fire it up. And then you'll notice here that it is looking for a pair, and it should automatically pair to your computer. Now what makes this amazing is the Logitech G Hub application here that you can download. Now when you connect this for the first time, it will most likely prompt you to download and install G Hub, which I definitely recommend it. It's not needed, but I recommend it for a whole bunch of different customizations. So right over here we have both the G502X Plus and the G502X Lightspeed. So we're obviously going to click on the Lightspeed over here so we can customize it. Now whenever you first program it, it's going to give you a little guide on all of the good stuff here. So over here it shows us our active DPI speed that you can customize even higher than 3200. Now I personally like to be at the 3200 mark to make it nice and snappy. So it comes with this nice Hero 25K sensor. Let's go ahead and click on the right one. Gives us more details of the scroll wheel. It lets us know how to adjust or remove our DPI shift here, but I personally like to remap this. And then there's onboard profiles, which I'll let you know more about that. So right over here we have the sensitivity here, which is very self-explanatory here. Now right over here we have the report rate. So this is how often the mouse reports information to your computer. So the higher it is, the more precise the input is going to be. So for gaming purposes, you want this to be the highest. Now whenever you're not gaming, then lowering this down will save a lot of battery, of course, because the mouse is not reporting so much information at the same time. So over here is 250 per second versus 1000 per second, for example. So, and you can always customize this at any point in time. Now right over here under assignments here is where we can customize all aspects of this mouse, and this is why I really like this. Now there's a lot of mouses out there that have software like this, such as the Razer. However, one of the reasons why I personally prefer the Logitech is because it's also compatible for macOS, and that is huge. That is really huge for me because I switch between my PC and my MacBook. So having a mouse that is compatible for both devices is huge for me. So that's another reason why I like the Logitech mouse here. What's great about this here is that you'll notice on top here it says desktop default. Now this is a default profile, and you can have the mouse automatically switch to different profiles depending on what application or game that you have. So for example, you have all these pre-installed games that I have on here. For example, I have Black Myth, Call of Duty, and also have other software such as Resolve. So DaVinci Resolve is very important to me. So on the desktop default, this is how I personally like to do it. For the most part, I like to switch both of these two buttons on the top here. So what I like to do is click on System, go to Media, and I like to control the volume very seamlessly with my mouse. So I'll do volume up, and then I'll do volume down. So that means that every time I click on this button right here, the volume will go up, and then the volume will go down. So that's an awesome feature. And again, you can have this however you want. Now to customize the other buttons, you hit View 2 and you get access to those 3 additional buttons. Now this is default, and then under Manage Profiles is where you can literally manage each of these files for different games. Now I personally do not game with a mouse, so I disable all these profiles because I personally don't use it. However, I do use it for DaVinci Resolve, and whenever you need to add, over here you would hit add game or application if you don't see the game or app that you want. And when you click on this, obviously it'll take you to your whole file system, and then you will look for Resolve or any other program that you want, and you can have a profile set up for that. So for example, if I go down to Resolve, over here I can have certain custom settings for this. Now you'll notice that the sensitivity changed. So I go back here to sensitivity. We know that we're still on Resolve default. And then I like to then change it to 3200 to make it very consistent, and also reduce it down to 250. I don't want it to report that quickly. Again, I'm not really gaming. And then under assignments, same thing here. For the top left button, I personally like to leave that as volume up and down. And even this button here, you can switch this too. So for example, in terms of editing, for example, if I want this to be redo, I can hit redo, and that will bind it to that. Now you can technically switch all of these little clicks and whatnot. For example, this is scroll left and this is scroll right. I like to leave it the way it is, so I'm perfectly fine with that. And then under View 2, this is where things are a little bit different versus the default. So for example, on DaVinci Resolve, I have certain actions or certain keys that I like to press. So letter A is very important to me. So here I bind this to A. And the reason why I do A is because when I'm editing, A automatically binds to selectors. So whenever I'm cutting on my keyboard, I like to hit the letter B so I can enter into cut mode, and then I can easily click on this button over here to switch it back to selector, so that saves a lot of time. And then for this button right over here, I like to personally do delete. So that way, as I'm editing, delete automatically does like that little ripple effect. And then backspace, I like to do this button right here because sometimes I don't want it. I don't want to have that ripple delete effect, and I can just simply hit the backspace, making it very convenient. And again, this is what works for me. You can customize this however you want to. So the beauty of this onboard profile is that whenever I am not on Resolve, it automatically switches to default, and it only switches to this profile when I'm actually on DaVinci Resolve, which saves a lot of time and effort. And then of course, you can always check the status of the battery here. It tells you your battery levels and all that good stuff. To be honest, this mouse to me feels very ergonomic in the hand. Out of all the mouses that I've tested, this has been my favorite, and this is my 3rd time buying this. I mean, this is the first time I'm getting the non-RGB version, but I also have the white RGB, and I also have the black RGB as well for my different gaming setups. I just like this a lot, and I know there's another one from Logitech themselves that's really popular, the one that has that thumb screw. But to be honest, I actually like this a lot, even though this is marketed as a gaming mouse. But for me, honestly, I use this as a productivity mouse. So I highly recommend it, guys, if you're looking for a great mouse for productivity. Maybe you want something that has like a gamer's touch to it, then I highly recommend this, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Till the next one, Firewolf out.